Go.
We're going to speak about our oceans. Space was tough, but our next frontier, oceans, is going to be even far more difficult. It'll be very difficult because we're going to need the world for total success. I said total. That means that is really an almost impossible task. So let's just start with us. We're going to start with the fish and other species of our great oceans. We are overfishing for a very, very long time. It's nothing new. Someone was running a study years ago, I think he was a Canadian, and he found that the last 50 years that he studied the ocean fish in different regions, he found that most of the sea and the sea life that we use were once in abundance are narrowly becoming very small in numbers. The whales that we have along our coastline that move up and down the Pacific coast, and we have, to our north, our American neighbors who still continue to kill whales because it's a tradition. I would like to see an end to the killing of whales for many reasons. One, their numbers are dwindling, and eventually there won't be any. And then someone will jump up and down saying, my gosh, we don't have any more whales. Well, whales are part of the Creator's idea of how this country and how we as humans who rule this world of ours, we have to understand that you have to take care in all things that are surrounding us, and especially the oceans. So, what we could do is, with our fellow neighbors, the people in the northern province who use and kill whales, because it is a tradition that goes back to the very beginning of their heritage. Now, that's well and good, except for the fact that we have to look at other means to prevent killing whales, because if we continue to kill whales, the other countries, we can't say you're killing all the whales. But if we stop, and let's put it this way, if we can stop and we can give our neighbors to our northern provinces the outlet to use the ocean for their benefit, just like we all use, then they'll actually receive some better benefit than the killing of the whales. What I'm planning on doing is, by executive order, I'm going to extend our territory waters out to 250 to 300 miles out. And the reason is, primarily, for our national security. You see, our national security is not like it was many, many years ago, and we had limited our territorial waters to 15 miles out. And some countries already have 300-mile limits out for, I don't know their exact reasoning, but I think we need to do that as a result so that we have a better understanding who is entering our territorial waters, because we don't know. We have no idea. I do know, though, that we have fishing vessels, and I personally saw these vessels when I was in Portland, Maine, at a restaurant called Boone's. What a wonderful place it was, right on the water. And I was looked out and I could see ships way out there, huge ships. And there were some fishermen there. I believe they're fishermen because They smell like fish, so fishermen always seem to smell like fish in the ocean. And I went over and asked them, whose ships are those? And I said, those American ships out there? He says, no, they're foreign country ships. And what they're doing out there is they're sweeping the whole northeastern area of fish. I said, well, how big a net can you use? He says they use mile-long nets that extend way, way deep, very, very deep. And they pull out, millions of fish. Well, they're within our 15 miles, so or outside of 15 miles, so it's okay to do that by our laws. But if we extend it out, we can secure our waters, our national waters, and our territorial waters, which would take care of doing that. Because I do not want anyone encroaching into our territorial waters any longer. I just don't want that. There's other places in the world that people can fish, and they should fish perhaps in their own waters, and then set out where no other people fish in that water, and that's acceptable. That's totally acceptable to me. I can understand why people use fish. In fact, many countries use fish as their staple. We have other means. We have so many foods, we use different staples of food to keep us going in this country. I would also like the countries of Canada, Greenland, and Denmark, South America, and the Caribbean to also look at this fishing off their borders. And I would like them to join in a 250-mile territorial water balance, so that therefore we all share into the harvest. However, we limit the amount of catch we can pull in. Now, during this catch, the extension, we have an extinction of so many of our fish species today. We have shark that are just used for food today. We have a lot of that. Atlantic cod is another, and sturgeon. The Pacific, we have salmon. Red snapper, when you go to a restaurant, you find they're very, very expensive and very difficult to come by. Bluefin tuna, groupers, swordfish, and others. Well, if we get a handle on the amount of fish we catch, perhaps we can allow the fish population, to go forth and multiply their own kind. But we have to do this as a country and follow our laws of our country and our fishing laws. Okay. I would like to also see a use tax. And this tax will be for all fish crops that come to shore. They will pay a fish fee. Now, the interesting thing on this is use taxes are specific uses for exactly a single thing. And I can get into this later about what the use tax is all about, because I'll continue to the part 2 on the oceans, and then I'll move to another complete topic, which is called the water reclamation of our country. Thank you very much for listening to me.